How's it going, Libra community? Now you know who it is. It's Soul Tigress with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So, first off, thank you for your time, your energy, and your patience as I navigate this story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. Keep in mind that this is a space where I call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors for all the positive messages that are going to come out. Now, I'm just going to be upfront and forward. This is not Love Tarot. What this channel is geared around is self-empowerment. And to me, what that means is we build the stepping stones to get closer to our soul being, which helps align us with a higher power. So let's go ahead and get started with the vibe. Libra, you are back on your time. You're back on that time thing where you think things need to be done by a certain time. And I feel like it's being back on this kind of energy, this kind of focus. It is definitely creating more anxieties within the Libra frequency. So the vibe is consistency is needed for the win, Libra. Don't let your doubts detour you from what you want to achieve. Be careful, though, when it comes to emotionally withdrawing to avoid conflict. Conflict, which has been like traditional and everything that you come at odds ends with because of your beliefs. Maybe the divine is trying to help you push past something that's outdated here with your beliefs. Now remember, we are always evolving with our behavior, even our outlooks, even with the things that we do as a species. So sometimes some of the things that we used to believe at one point gets outdated, and it gets outdated again because we have grown and we have evolved as well. Could there be a Libra who's outgrowing the environment that has been in the routine or that they have been in the routine with for quite some time? How can letting go of overly controlling everything help you see something different with what you had versus what you thought you didn't have? And I quote, this is your ancestor coming in right here. Just because you are not where you want to be, it doesn't mean you are failing. And then this is a different quote. All the best things in life come to those who work for it. Libra, you have to ask yourself, are you being authentically and genuinely with yourself when you're taking these steps? Are you genuinely and authentically taking the steps that you need to take to get to where you want to be? And I say that because a lot of people think if they make a small change, then life's just going to hand them everything on a silver platter and everything is going to go the right way. No. When you start to create change, that's when you start to get the biggest tests, the biggest trials, because you're going off and you're doing something different. And the divine wants to see how dedicated you are to this cause. But it's a lot of times that our old beliefs of ourselves, our old beliefs of how we even fail at certain things hold us back, Libra. And this could be having to do with the relationships that you've had with others, because we do have the full moon in Libra, which is the pink moon. And Libra, your energy, just like Scorpio, is one where you find yourself, you find who you are through the lessons that you have with other humans on this planet. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. So let's go ahead and get started with the introduction. Now I'm doing something different because I have the something, sometime, somewhere, and everyday oracle deck. Now this one isn't like the traditional ones. So let's see how everything comes out. I'm not sure how I'm going to read them this time. Just kind of going with the flow here, Libra. So ancestors, spirit guides, what is it that needs to come out for the introduction for the Libra community? Are you angry? Calm down. Maybe sometimes when we get held up in the routine of things, it could be feeling like we were the problem. We were the big problem in whatever is in our environment, whatever is around us. Libra, you're allowed to be human. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to be messy. You're allowed to mess up. Just like you're allowed to get up, you're allowed to learn, and you are allowed to grow from there. Don't forget that. Yesterday's mistakes don't have to be brought into today. Remember, every day that you are awake is a chance to try again. Ooh, let's see what else wants to come out. Ooh, I haven't seen this one. And this is something. Our destinations might be different, but we can enjoy the journey, but we can enjoy the same journey. Here we go. You know, one thing that I learned when starting my fitness hobby with myself, it's been 10 years now, is a saying that, you know, you'll have a lot of people start with you, but not many will finish with you. This goes for our life journey. We have a lot of people who will start with us on different parts of our journey, but they don't finish with us. And that doesn't mean that you're any less lovable, Libra. It's just we all have our personal journeys in life. We all have our inner demons, our anxieties. You know, we all have stuff that we're facing inside and learning how to navigate. And what one person will do doesn't mean another person will do. All right, what else? Woo-wee. I got 3 cards here. So the first one is going to be every day. In the end, if it fails, just hope that tomorrow will be another good day. That's enough. It's okay. It's okay. Was that song? Was that lyric? That's the shoulders off. That's the shoulders off. I mean, if you really feel like that bad of a person, you feel like you're messing up, then you know what? You can apologize. You know how many people appreciate somebody just acknowledging something? A lot of them do. Do you know how much a person appreciates being able to acknowledge a mishap and being able to openly discuss that with somebody, openly feel comfortable into coming to somebody with their mistake? A lot of times we get upset and we get embarrassed about our mistakes. I was talking to a fellow Scorpio, and she was talking about how somebody almost backed into her, and this person, you know, I think she had to honk her horn to let them know, hey, don't hit me, my car is back here. And the person got upset and they kind of raced off angrily. And she kind of was like, oh, I'm taking it personal, but they almost hit me kind of thing. You know, I don't know how to feel about this. Like, you know, they're kind of being an ass. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, this person probably got embarrassed because they almost hit you. And a lot of us, when we make mistakes, when we get embarrassed, we're really, really hard on ourselves. It starts in the mind, and then it's how we feel. And that's where we will be brash. We can be irrational. we can cover it up with anger. So, sometimes coming to terms again that Libra, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And the people who judge you for your mistakes, that's on them. You really need to establish if that's the type of company you really want around you. Again, because everybody makes mistakes. Now I have every day. Let dreams take you away. Believe in the impossibilities again. Start dreaming. Start to move past these mistakes, Libra. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect. And the last one we have is somewhere. Sometimes the sky plays music quietly. For this card, I really feel like being present in the moment. You're really gonna hear the sounds of life. You're gonna be not so absorbed in your past. That means you're gonna have a little less anxieties. You're not gonna be so absorbed in the worries of the future either. You're gonna bring it back to this moment. I'm not gonna lie, Libra, sometimes when I personally am having a morning of anxieties, I sit here and I go for a walk with my doggo and I just breathe and I really, really, really focus on trying to listen to the birds, just to bring my thoughts into this present moment. And when I can hear them, I try and count how many different songs I can hear from the birds. Again, all in efforts to bring me back into this moment. And I feel like that's something that's really needed for the Libra frequency, is stepping out of the past anxieties, stepping out of the worries of for tomorrow or of tomorrow, and stepping into now. So we're going to leave it on the 555s here. So sign of transformation. Major life changes are on the way, Libra. But that's if you choose to do something different than the routine that you have been doing, the routine you've been doing with your emotions, the routine that you've been doing with your thoughts, and how you look back at your past mistakes. So definitely I have my Numan stack here, and usually sometimes because there's 3 here, I usually involve that this could be some kind of third party situation here. But I really feel like we have a Libra who's really looking at an outcome they really want. Maybe really upset that that outcome hasn't happened yet. I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and dive into the present. What is it, divine and universal energy, angels, ancestors, and spirit guides that need to come out for the present? You're not sure what you've created here. Confused when you look out to what you have created up until this point. Is it all just conflict? All just conflict that I find with whoever when it comes to people who are close to you, when it comes to work, when it comes to partners. Something we're not seeing here is I have a 9 of Pentacles. Now with this 9 of Pentacles, Libra is saying, hey, I'm working though. I'm working and I can't help what's happening in life. I can't help these variables that are coming my way, I just can't. And these variables have to do with what they think. You know, even the communication that they have now, or even that the lack of communication that they're facing, whatever it is, it's something that is really upsetting to them. There's something here, and it has to do with another. I don't know. I feel like Libra almost feels like they missed an opportunity. Because I look here, look at this Justice card. The eyes are closed here. That's definitely Libra energy here. How do I balance? And then if I bring up this Lover's card again, look at this person's eyes. They're closed. Again. See? There was something here you had your eyes closed to. You didn't see its value. You didn't see something about it. And now you're kind of, I want to say, waking up. And it's almost like you feel like you missed an opportunity in a sense. What else needs to come out? Yep. This has been popping up. 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords. For multiple decks, the 4 of Swords, the 6 of Cups. Now this is the 9 of Swords. We don't have 6 of Cups out. Or this is the 10 of Swords. We don't have the 6 of Cups out. We don't have the 9 of Swords out. But this is definitely the energy here. And it has to do with a particular something that's happened. And it's not in the now time. Again, this is in the past. This is a missed opportunity. This is something that you felt like was water, you know, just kind of just running through your hands. You were trying to cup it, but you weren't paying attention. And you didn't realize that you were going to need something different to hold it, to be around it. Something here. Ooh. Ooh. I'm hearing to get a clarity card for this 10 of Swords. What is it that's on this mind? All right. Ooh, this way. Clarity card for the 10 of Swords. Clarity card for this 10 of Swords. This did come out too in the cleanse. 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands. I'm just going to angle this really quick so you can see. 4 of Wands, Lovers, 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, Justice. There was something that was definitely, could have been in the works, that was being created. Something that you could have wanted to create it. Maybe there was an idea of creating with someone, someplace, something. But for some reason, maybe you thought that this other was always gonna be around. Look at this other here. Over half the cards in the introduction have another here. I don't think whoever this other was consistently on your journey. I think definitely just like car trips, they were popping in and out at certain moments. You know, even when you guys were around each other, whatever the situation was, there was still a distance. Maybe it was the same kind of place that you guys were meeting up at. But whatever it was, nothing ever came of it. And it was because you both went off in 2 separate directions, or you went off into a separate direction from this person, place, or thing. And again, you closed your eyes to what was there in a sense. You feel like you missed out. You definitely felt like you missed out on something. Maybe you acted this way in self-defense. Maybe because there was another past situation that wasn't the greatest. So maybe you judged this other one to be just like it. Maybe you judged it to be just as much conflict as what you've dealt with before. We can do that with businesses. Businesses can do that with new employees. You know, one of the biggest examples I can give is like, for me, because I date the male gender, if ever I choose to date again, no. But for me, it's like being with a person who was cheated on in their previous relationship. And they cared about that ex so much. So now that I come into a new relationship with them, they're holding me to a higher standard because of what had happened with their ex. I think we all can identify with that one. You know, it's the same with businesses. They will tell you, oh, we just don't want the same thing to happen that was happening before. Again, leaving you, whoever this person that's coming in, to wear that burden. But right here, I have it that Libra wears this burden in a sense. They're afraid of how this other person could turn out. It could be like the same thing all over again with this place. And this is why they close their eyes to it. But it's not, something here's not sitting right with them because it's coming back. Again, it's feeling like a missed opportunity to this Libra frequency. Now that they reflect on it. Let's see. Yeah, 8 of Cups. I shouldn't have walked away. Why did I do this? Kind of balance. You feel out of balance. There's an out of balanceness here. 8 of Cups, you know, an upright is saying, hey, let's walk away from something. Now we have the 8 of Cups that's saying, that's in reverse, that's a little bit more in the reverse. 8 of Cups, Queen of Cups. I feel like this is a lot of Pisces here too. A lot of Pisces here. Pisces is the 12th house energy. That's end of old cycle, preparing for new. There's definitely something that you're still stuck on that really puts you out of balance. Something that you came out of not understanding why you were guided to that part of your journey. Why you had to go through that. You don't understand that yet. Oh my goodness, Libra. All right, what else needs to come out for the present? Yeah. You don't know how to invest with others. You don't know how to look at others. I mean, you could have so many who reach for you. So many that, you know, say they want your time, they want your energy. You know, they want to be around you. No matter what, you still don't know how to look at them. You could have somebody, someplace who really, really wants you so bad, and you would still hold them at bay, again, because you haven't let go of this other situation. You don't know how to look at people. You have one situation, so it's like a few things that are adding up here. You have one situation with a very selfish energy. This person wasn't very forgiving with you. This person wasn't compassionate. They were pretty cold, and it was a lot of their way. Their way with little leave room for you to make mistakes, whatever this person place was in the past. So then something else appeared on your journey, and you really, really just, you had still a lot of pain from this other past. So instead of really pursuing this other opportunity, again, because you don't know how to reinvest into others, you closed your eyes to it. And somehow you're seeing something different now. You felt like you missed out. And especially because, again, there wasn't this communication here. I feel like there's no closure. Whatever this was, whoever it is that you went a separate way from, I think that the fact is you really don't know at the end of the day what would have happened here. And that's what's bothering you. Let's go a few more cards. What are the last two cards? That's interesting. Oh, y'all seen how that came out. Very interesting. I feel like there's just a lot around you. There is a lot around you. You don't know who's friend. You don't know who's foe. You don't know what to hang on to when it comes from the past and not repeating the past mistakes. But at the same time, you don't know what to let go of. That's what I get from these two cards. Oh, Libra. It's okay, Libra. It's okay. It's okay. You know what? You've hung on to this for a long time. You know, I feel like just looking at the cards, I feel like there's a lot of just water energy here. And it's like you're built up in the emotions. You've built up so much that you kind of like, in a sense, also frosted yourself over. So you have these emotions that have been like frozen in time. And what I'm hearing is they've been frozen in the time whenever you dealt with whoever this one was. This emotionally manipulative person. And I feel like you weren't meant, even though you're feeling like you missed out on whoever else this other opportunity was, you weren't meant to have this at that moment. You have to remember the divine is always working. It's working its own timing out for each individual. You may sit here saying, I missed an opportunity, whatever, but it just may have not meant, because your journeys were meant to go somewhere different. What is that saying? And this is what I'm hearing is absence makes the heart grow fonder. You need to sit with that for a little bit. What is it about the absence of this one's presence that has you feel like you're missing out? That is what you need to learn from there. Because maybe it's the fact that I prejudged something because of what has happened in the past with others. And maybe it's learning that, hey, maybe it's time for me to heal from this. Maybe it's time for me to release this. And I mean, if y'all are meant to be on the paths, whatever this opportunity that you felt like you missed, then the divine will have you align again. But it's only when you both are ready, because on the other side of the coin, this other, whoever you're reflecting on, may have not been ready either this whole time. Or it could be something that the lesson you learn from this missed opportunity is going to be the new motivation for you to seize new opportunities that come your way. Instead of letting them pass you by because you're prejudging it, maybe now again you heal, you release, and now you start to Get curious. Be open to opening up those new doors to opportunities and exploring them. Whew. Oh my goodness. It's not over. I'm hearing that this is not all she wrote yet. It's not over yet. As long as you get up every day, you have a chance to try again. You have a chance to bring yourself out of that past. You have a chance to start healing in the now, so you can start taking the steps where you want to be for your future. Just know that sometimes we get snagged up in the past, and that's okay. It just means that you haven't fully learned about yourself from that situation. Again, Libra, your energy, your house is all about learning about yourself through others. What can this teach you? What can both of these situations teach you about yourself? Could it teach you that where you once said, I would never want to do that again, and I would never say love somebody like that again, to now meeting somebody that's knocking you off of your feet, just with their vibe, with their energy, and now you don't know what to do because you held yourself back, type of thing? Is it because, you're wanting these opportunities in your career, but you're holding yourself back from applying from jobs that ask a little bit more because you don't feel like you can show up? You just feel like you've only been stuck in this one area. A lot of times we have to make our value. We can't just determine our value off of how people treat us, how people view us, what has happened in the past. We make our value through our beliefs, how we treat ourselves, and how we show up for ourselves every day. How much we're aligned in that love, light, and compassion. So let's go ahead and dive into this block here. Let's see what's going on in a little bit deeper view, a little bit of a in-depth view when it comes to what's happening in this Libra frequency, why they're holding them back. What is it that they're taking out on themselves? Angels of protection. Angels of protection. Help guide us through the Libra's block. Keep us protected as we navigate what's going on. Yeah. Five of Cups, Seven of Cups, Six of Cups, Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Cups, I definitely didn't see while I was cleansing. But this Six of Cups, I seen it a few times. But then it even plopped out. Alright? So what I have here is, again, you feel like you have to ice off your emotions. We're not open to dumping the old out to, start to refill with something new. It's definitely just, this is the way it is. And this way, the way it always is again reflecting on what has happened with this past person. This person that maybe, again, you didn't make an offering to. This past situation, this door of opportunity that you didn't open up. And then I have the Wheel of Fortune, which is represented by Capricorn because it's the Saturn energy. Yes, we have Leo, Taurus, who is that? Scorpio. Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and I can't tell which this other one is. I don't know if it's a Gemini or what. But I always take it to, again, Capricorn, because this is Saturn energy. And if you read the Wheel of Fortune card, it talks about change. Change is needed here. And then we have the Seven of Cups. Again, looking into the past fulfillments. Right here, whatever it is that you missed out on, somehow it makes you feel like you have less now. Yeah. For some reason, you feel stuck. Like you can't move, like you can't do something different, you can't find something different. Maybe it's the fact that you don't feel like you'll ever find somebody who will meet you at your level, find a job that meets you at everything that you've been hoping for in a career. So when it comes to, oh my God. Whoever this opportunity is, whoever this person is, you put them high up. Whatever it is, you can feel like they're smarter than you. There's definitely that kind of intimidation. There's some kind of something that they do that's really special that intimidates you. And I feel like it comes a lot from the mental state. Maybe it could even be a way that they talk, a way that they think. You got Gemini, you got Libra, and you have Aquarius here. Gemini, I think. Libra, I balance. Aquarius, I know. This person, place, or thing you look at as having a lot of stuff handled. You put them on a higher up kind of thing. I feel like you put them so high up that you've deemed, again, whatever this opportunity, because look at the Fool in reverse, as you're not able to make the journey towards them somehow. You've blocked yourself off from this. This is interesting. What's the fear of change here? Can I get a more clear view of what the fear of change is here for Libra? Excuse me. Thank you. What is this fear of change here? Here we go. Here comes that Queen of Cups in reverse. And if you notice, I'm going to bring it back down. It lands on the card, the Wheel of Fortune, where I was just talking about change. So what lands on this Wheel of Fortune is this Queen of Cups in reverse, Five of Swords. The fear is you don't know how to put down the view of whatever you have, an overall view when it comes to others like this. That's what this is saying right here. I don't know if you feel like, because again, this, whatever the situation is, you're referencing them as the Queen of Swords. So in a sense, you feel like this person is going to be all yee-haw on their ideas, on their endeavors, because again, this opportunity has went its separate way from you. It didn't stick around. It had stuff to do. If it's coming up as a Queen of Swords always handles what they need to do. They're up. They're that go-getter. They don't put up with nothing. Business is handled here. And I just feel like, in a sense, you feel like because this energy is such a progressive energy, somehow you're going to feel left out again. You're going to feel left out because there's something here. Something here that keeps triggering you to whatever this past situation is. Because again, Queen of Cups, twice, not an upright. And then something we're not seeing here. is the Ace of Coins again. You don't know how to rebalance your view. You really don't know how to rebalance this view. I don't know if this could even feed into, say, a past time when Libra was young. You know, maybe there's just a certain side to a certain gender that Libra has always seen. And maybe there's just a certain side to employment that Libra has always seen. And this is what's helped really ice them over into being stuck in this one way of thinking about it. But it's asking you again to rebalance this view. You have something here. You have something here that you admire, that you like. I feel like that you secretly watch. This person, place, or thing doesn't know how interested you really are. You don't even know how interested you really are. I mean, I feel like if there was a tally on how many times you visited whatever this is, his profile, the website, even reflected on different moments in the past with them on your journey, if there was an actual tally that was being taken weekly, you would be astonished at how many times you reflect and you think about this. Like, I think if you actually seen stats like that, Libra, because you're such a kind of like a visual, a logical kind of person, when you see stats like that, then it would hit you even harder. So, I mean, you do have this logical view that's protecting you, but it's also the thing that's barricading you. And if you go check out that new moon, full moon interpretation, the new moon in Aries this month talks about taking action, you know, going and confronting the things that conflict us, the things that we felt like sabotaged us, those inner wars that we have with ourselves over our past stuff. And with the full moon in Libra, that's talking about how sometimes we hold on things even past the bitter end. And these things that we hold on to are situations of our past where we feel like there should have been more fairness, whether with ourselves or even with the others. It just depends on how it's translating to you. But if you want a little bit more in-depth view onto kind of why we're feeling this type of energy, then go check out my new moon, full moon interpretation. But this is kind of what it is. You've held on to a situation past the bitter end here. And you could be feeling this so intensely even until next month, mid next month, the next full moon. Because the divine is really pushing your frequency to move past it. I feel like there is a deadline that's happening here. And you can keep on the same trajectory of what you're feeling, icing yourself off, but you're not going to make that deadline, which could create another detour for you. And it could take longer to get to where you want to be. This is why it's important that consistency right now for you, Libra. Getting up, trying again, and looking how to heal from this past. That's going to be the biggest thing. I will say this one last thing, because I myself have been through bitter endings with work, but also bitter endings in relationships. And when we have that, especially with the relationship, we will definitely, blame a gender. And there was a time in my life that I was saying that all men are the same. And I would say the negative stuff about them. But then it clicked with me one day that if I sit here and I say that men are this and that in a negative way, then I'm already deeming my son to be like that, because one day he's gonna grow up and be a man. And that's what made me wake up to, hey, there's a part that I need to heal when it comes to this gender, because I don't need to put this view onto my son. My son doesn't deserve that. My son is going to grow up into the man that he's going to be, but it's going to depend on his support as well. How much his support system's showing up for him. But he is allowed to have his personal choices and his free will. So when it comes to whatever this is, you really have to figure out is if you really want to walk through life with a bitter taste in your mouth, saying that this is all that there is out there when it comes to whatever this is, person, place, or thing. And if that's the way you want to walk around judging whatever, then even if you do get in something new, you will never fully thaw yourself out to being fully vulnerable with them. You will still always have some kind of barrier up to them. And you will never be able to experience the fullness of whatever it is next that you get into. So keep in mind that you still can miss out. You can miss out a lot if you don't heal this. So, we finally made it to the conclusion. Great job, Libra. Thank you for your patience. All right, divine and universal energy. What is it that needs to come out for the conclusion? What are the positive messages? When it comes to really feeling like there's only going to be conflict out for you, that all you meet or all you're going to meet in any type of situation like that is conflict, I have the fourth chakra and also Archangel Raphael. And we were just talking about this, the heart chakra. When it's out of balance, it's jealousy, it's bitterness, it's holding grudges, lack of empathy. When it's going good, the balance is right, it's love, compassion, harmony, emotional balance, and forgiveness. Right here. So with that being said, is we need to start to heal. We need to start to heal through our heart to start to heal the rest of us. Let's see what also Raphael represents. This archangel is the protector and healer and is the patron of travelers, the blind, happy meetings, nurses, physicians, medical workers, matchmakers, marriages, and studies. So definitely going in and healing this part of you is going to open you up. It's going to open you up probably to traveling more. Maybe seeing something different as you travel. Maybe, again, is the patron of marriages, matchmaking. This is a lot of, don't close yourself off because there could be still something out there. Again, it's going to take work. It's going to take healing. All right, what else needs to come out? Adjacent possibilities. I love how this lands on the Fool. All right. There's more than one way to do it. I feel like this is saying for the Libra here. You don't feel like you can whatever, match up whatever with this. But actually the divine is definitely saying there is more than one way to do it. You just have to open up to the journey. You have plenty of doors to open. You're going to get to the same place. It just depends on what door you want to go through if you choose to do the work. Oh, ho, 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 ho. All right, what else needs to come out? Yeah, when you learn to go through these other doors, you're going to start to open something else. that door to value, what you deserve, where you want to be, making those dreams come true. Financial constrictions. I feel like with here, you're worried about what you have to offer. Maybe somehow in this past situation, they made you feel like you wasn't good enough. You didn't have enough to offer. Maybe that was a part of the contract here. About learning about yourself when it came to this other relationship, this other place, this other contract. Again, we have the healer of the ages here. Whatever this was, it was supposed to be a really big lesson. It could be a lesson into what you deserve. But you only learn that when you stop holding on to it with bitterness, with anger, with a grudge, with not wanting to emotionally accept and understand what was going on. I mean, we're only seeing the one side to this situation. In all honesty, did you notice the situation didn't come up as anything else? There's no queens, or except for the Queen of Cups, but there's no other queens. There's no kings. There's no knights. None of that. Except for, hold on, this Queen of Swords and this Queen of Cups in reverse. So there's definitely only one view you're seeing into the past, but somehow again you've seen something new that you're watching. How can we let go of this past view, this past situation? How can we see that these two energies are not the same? Even in upright, these energies are not the same. Whoever these energies are, they operate totally different in this realm, in this dimension. This one follows a lot of their intuition. This one has climbed mountains. This one has taken care of a lot of things, or takes care of a lot of things just in general. Because this one's came in reverse. This one's selfish. This one could have some habits that are not so healthy. This is going to be somebody who's higher maintenance, emotionally manipulative. There we go. So what you're doing in all reality, Libra, I love you, but you're comparing apples to oranges. And there's really no comparison here. All right, so I'm hearing one last card. Hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so one last card. Let's see, there it is. So 777, spiritual awakening. You have listened. It's time to reap the rewards, Libra. If you choose to listen, if you choose to learn, if you choose to bring balance to yourself from what has happened. This is a lot, Libra. This is a lot. This is a lot. I see why consistency is the key here. You have to really ask yourself why you are being brought back to this situation. What it is that has you so curious about things. Then you have to ask yourself on the other side, what is it that makes you close off? What makes you be so merciless when looking at certain things? What is it that you're trying to protect yourself from? And you gotta rebalance yourself. You gotta rebalance these energies. Again, heal that fourth chakra. Heal that fourth chakra so you can get to where you need to go safely with whoever you are, whatever you are meant to meet up with. But first, you have to learn who you are. And you do that by healing, and you do that by realizing that that past contract is up. It's up, and being ready for it to be up. Being ready to look at things differently. Look at yourself differently. Open up into seeing how you've grown from there. All right, Libra, this is going to conclude it. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience with me. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy. And I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.